People like to interpret situations in their life in the worst way possible, and that's how I interpreted OP's interpretation of our first story. G'day there guys, it's your main man Markee, and welcome back to another episode of r/AmITheA. Now, if you love today's bloody good content, I want you to sit back, relax, chug a prawn of that barbecue, and get ready for some bloody good stories. Let's go. Am I the asshole for calling out my friend with an invisible chronic illness? So I've been friends with R for the past few years. R has a number of health problems that often make day-to-day life difficult. Just looking at her, you wouldn't be able to tell that anything is wrong, and R has often expressed to me how frustrating this is to her. I try to be really understanding and sympathetic to R's problems. I'm lucky in that I'm quite healthy, but I have family members, and I know others with similar invisible disabilities. When R and I hang out together, she tells me she's often too tired or in pain to do much but sit and talk, and I respect that. However, I know that R is, can, and does lead a more normal life. She'll often post pictures of her partying, hiking, and even ziplining. She'll tell me about how she went out to a great restaurant and ate food that she normally can't tolerate. She always does these things by herself or with family and other friends. A few days ago, we hung out, and I suggested going to a cafe that she'd mentioned wanting to try. She said that she wasn't feeling well enough to walk or stand in line. I suggested ordering food to the house instead, and she replied that it would probably make her sick and that I should know that. I completely understand that her issues can crop up unexpectedly, but this happens every single time we're together, and I don't see the pattern with anyone else. I tried to be as gentle as possible and told her that I'd noticed that she'd never wanted to go anywhere or do anything when the two of us hang out. I said that I want to respect her limitations, but that maybe we could find something she'd be able to do or eat. R blew up at me and said that I was being inconsiderate of her illness and that as an able-bodied person, I would never understand. She left but kept texting me and said that I was a crappy, disrespectful friend. Here's where I think I'm the asshole. I got pissed and responded that it seemed like her illnesses only really cropped up with me, and that maybe she'd feel better if we stopped hanging out completely. I really don't want to lose the friendship because I enjoy talking with them, but I'm upset because I feel like she doesn't really want to do much with me and uses her illness as an excuse. It's kind of weird that you point out her chronic invisible illness so much, but then you just say that maybe she just picks and chooses when it affects her. Maybe she just wants friends to understand her difficulties and work with her. If you really do think she's faking the chronic illnesses that she has, then you're definitely an asshole for that one. I don't know what else to say. Now in the comments, I Love Bread says, "My guess, as a person myself with invisible chronic illness, is that for some reason she isn't comfortable moving out of her comfort zone while she's with you. For whatever reason, she doesn't want to take the chance of getting sick or having symptoms or needing help when she's with you. The most likely reason is embarrassment. People like us avoid embarrassment due to our illness at all costs. Like, there are only certain people I'm gonna risk crapping my pants in public around. You're the asshole, but clearly not intentionally. Just very much unaware of the issues people like your friend face." I agree with this too. I have IBS and I don't try new restaurants with people that I'm not comfortable with because a flare-up is embarrassing. But I'll risk it with my husband because I know he won't be upset if I disappear to the restroom and that he'll support me. Oh god, IBS truly is the asshole, from someone else with treasonous intestines. As someone with an invisible chronic illness, I see two main possibilities here. 1. She trusted OP. In my experience, there are people I feel safe enough to say no to because of my limitations, and people I do not. It's possible that her saying no meant that she trusted OP enough to stop pushing herself. When I'm not comfortable around someone, I hide my symptoms so that they don't judge me for them. There are very few people in this world I feel safe enough around to tell them that I can't do something because of my illness. I usually make up an unrelated excuse so that they don't see me as weak. If this is the case, OP, you broke her trust by pushing her, and you're the asshole. Or 2, a few others have pointed out this possibility. She doesn't trust OP to take care of her if something happens and she needs assistance. I know I am very careful about who I'm with when I might overextend myself and risk needing medical attention. It's scary to experience, and I need to be sure that someone has my back. If this is the case, I think no assholes here, because she has every right to be upset at OP for pushing her, and OP is only living up to her expectations anyway. There are plenty of other possibilities, but this is just my opinion. Side note, people with invisible disabilities and illnesses can still do fun things. We can still have adventures and live recklessly. It just costs us more. Maybe rest days before and after, maybe a consultation with a doctor, maybe relying on a medication more than usual, etc. We shouldn't have to stop living our lives to prove to able people that we're suffering enough to be disabled. Just because you can bench press X pounds a few times before you're fatigued doesn't mean you should carry that weight constantly. Just because I can push through a migraine to stay out late catching up with an old friend without losing consciousness or vomiting doesn't mean I should do that for each of my 10+ migraine days monthly. We all have limits, and we all want to live our lives on our own terms. Our next post is by user FireRaptor220, titled, "Would I be the asshole for spending $14,000 on a sports car after getting ownership of my $50,000 college fund?" So I, 26 male, am coming here to seek second opinions because it caused a small argument. Maybe you guys could help us resolve it. A bit of background. So I consider myself very responsible with money, at least now. Over the course of the past year, I turned a $2,800 credit card debt into a $7,000 and counting savings. I pay all of my own bills and have my own place. I invest $500 a month into a low-risk mutual fund, and I don't eat out a lot. I have zero debt, zero car payments, I have a Corolla that I paid $2,700 in cash for, zero college debt, no mortgage, no kids, no medical debt, etc. So I wanted to go to school for engineering, but quit for mental health reasons. Because I did not use the college fund, I was recently given ownership of it. It is worth nearly $50,000. I also love cars, and for the past year have had the vague goal of saving up for a sports car. I've done a ton of research on cars, and I'm very interested in a $14,000 Hyundai Genesis Coupe, a 2013 model that I looked at yesterday. On paper, everything seems okay. I called my insurance company and they said that my insurance would go up only $60 a month. I'm paying cash and it would only cost me 30% of what I own. The combined total of my two cars would still equal less than half my annual income. This purchase has been in the works for over a year after doing tons of research on cars, and the other 70% of my estate could still be invested. My mum discovered my plans recently and was shocked. She argued that the college fund was created by her and my dad for the purpose of giving me a better life. And while I do appreciate where she's coming from, I feel that I'm still being more responsible than many people who get this kind of a windfall, especially in my age group. Plus, it's my money. What do you guys think? I don't think you're particularly doing anything wrong to any person beside yourself here, so I'm gonna say you're an asshole to yourself in this situation, and you're very much doing yourself a disservice. I think this is a really dumb idea, and I think you would be dumb to continue and follow through. I think you should listen to your mother. You're the asshole. Now in the comments, What22 says, you're the asshole. Also, you can't say, oh, I have zero college debt, when mummy and daddy paid for it and you didn't finish. He also says he has no mortgage, but also doesn't appear to own a house, which seems to be more or less the same thing. Don't spend it. A car is a depreciating asset. Your financial position doesn't sound that amazing. Save it for a down payment on a house or something. Hard one. I would, however, say you're the asshole here. Look, yes, it is your money. It was, however, given to you with a very specific purpose in mind. You say you're good with finances, yet you've been in credit card debt before, and after getting a large chunk of money at once, you want to put it into a sports car, which not only is a financial liability, but is something that easily depreciates in value. It might be much better to keep $50,000 as a rainy day fund, depending on where you're from, as medical bills and similar issues can easily eat that up. It's not a lot of money, and spending 30% on something you originally wanted to save up for makes it seem like a very impulsive decision. A sports car isn't really a sound financial decision, trust me. And while insurance might not go up, there are other very high costs associated to keep the car in good shape. I would also wonder, as you mentioned mental health issues, if there might be some impulsiveness behind that, and if this is something to worry about. I've observed this in a friend before who got herself in huge trouble overnight. In the end, sure, your parents can't dictate what you do with it. I can, however, fully understand why your mum is shocked and disappointed. She tried to have you lead a good life, and you spending it on a rather irresponsible purchase is of course going to cause some issues. While you can still do it, don't expect them to be happy about it or help you out if you get into financial trouble down the road. That's what's getting me about this situation. OP's parents did an amazing job putting together a substantial fund that was very clearly for college, and OP knows this, but wants to make a bad financial decision anyway. You're the asshole. You only have $7,000 in savings, and you should really aim to have 6 months' salary in the bank at all times as a rainy day fund. Put that $50,000 in the bank and show your parents that they didn't waste their money saving it for you. And you're the asshole. You haven't won the lottery. You received a generous gift intended to secure your future. Purchasing a second car, and a 7-year-old Hyundai at that, is a great way to thumb your nose at your parents' years of dutiful saving and sacrifices made for your future. Be responsible with this money. See a financial planner for advice on how to make the most of $50,000 and invest or spend it in a way that honors your parents' generosity. Our next post is by user EducationalTap9980, titled, "Am I the asshole for doing exactly what I was told to do?" I hope this makes sense, but I'm 25 male and work in a bank. The bank I work for has a bulk sheet, which keeps track of all the money that goes in and out of the main safe. So if we have to take money out of our till to put it away, it goes on the bulk sheet. And if we need more money in our till, we do the same. It was one of the busiest days that we've had in a long time. We easily had around $200,000 going in and out of the main safe in a mixture of coins and notes. I was trying to tidy up and I get to the shredder and there's a huge lump of paperwork on it. This is a big no. You're supposed to shred as you go so people don't see paperwork they shouldn't. So I ask my manager, 55 female, what is all this paperwork? She replies, "What do you think it is? It's shredding." So I have a look and notice the bulk sheet is on the pile. Sometimes the sheet gets messy so people like to rewrite it better. So I ask again just to double check, "What's going on with it all? Are you sure that this should be shredded?" And before I mention the bulk sheet is on there, she starts shouting at me, "What part of shredding don't you understand? Are you stupid? I said that it's shredding, so shred it all." So of course I did. 20 minutes later, everyone is looking for the bulk sheet, and I simply said, "Oh, I shredded it." Everyone stares at me like I've got 3 heads, and starts going wild, as this means that we have to try and work out what was written on it, and count the whole safe, etc. It was a complete pain, and it took ages to sort out. When asked why I did it, I explained that it was on the shred pile, and I got told that I was stupid for asking about it, and was told to shred, so I did. Everyone at work thinks I shouldn't have done it, and I don't think I'm the asshole because I asked twice, and I was called stupid, so I did what I was told. Honestly, I'm gonna say everyone sucks here for this one, because as far as malicious compliance as this is in this situation, it's still a dick move to burden the rest of your coworkers with this when you could have easily taken the bulk sheet out of the pile and shredded the rest, yet you chose not to do that. Obviously, your manager is an asshole for not having communication with you and asking what you think is so important, but I also think you're an asshole for not communicating with your manager and being like, "Hey, the bulk sheet is on this. Do you want me to shred the bulk sheet?" And they would probably say, "No, do not shred the bulk sheet. Do you have eyes and a brain? Put that away somewhere else, idiot." And yet you chose not to. You're not particularly wrong in this situation, OP, but you're still an asshole. So everyone sucks here. Now in the comments, Supernova Pavlova says, "Not the asshole, but with a caveat. After the manager yelled at you, you should have held your ground and told the manager about the bulk sheet being on the pile. The manager is the one in the wrong for losing their crap and calling you stupid, but you knew there was a sensitive document on the pile, and you had no way of knowing if it should really be shredded except by asking directly. The old measure twice and cut once advice. It's a little obvious you went ahead and shredded it to spite them for berating you, which is an immature move. OP did ask twice, then got berated and said F it, I'll just do it then. Was it petty? Sure, but asking twice and then getting berated, I'd say not the asshole. OP did ask twice but never specified what was on the pile, which was a document they knew could be vital. That's the point. Everyone sucks here. Your manager for obvious reasons, and you for causing your coworkers a headache just to make a point towards your manager. You should have said, you want me to shred all of it, even the bulk sheet. Are you sure? If it was simply about inconveniencing or embarrassing your manager, I would say not the asshole. But that whole building had to stay late because of your malicious compliance. It looks like they do periodically have duplicates of the sheet though. It's not like OP knew that it was the only copy. Yeah, and I periodically bring a second sandwich to work, but the possibility of a backup doesn't make it okay to eat my sandwich. Yeah, but leaving that sandwich on the bin might make it so that people throw it away, because what other reason is there to leave a sandwich on a bin? Everyone sucks here. The manager shouldn't have yelled, but you knew what you were doing. You knew what the outcome was going to be and did it for the sake of being an asshole. And our next post is by user Connor VD, titled, Am I the Asshole? I got a neck tattoo and my girlfriend is giving me the silent treatment. So my girlfriend and I have been together for right about a year, but have known each other and been good friends for around 5. She has seen my transition from having virgin, untouched skin to my current state of what some people would start to think is heavily tattooed. I've always said that I wanted to be head to toe for the most part, aside from heavy face, maybe 1 or 2. But she's contested the face at all and has a pretty hard stance on the neck. So yesterday was my off day, and a friend hit me up asking if I wanted to hang out, and possibly get a tattoo. Of course I was down, as I haven't gotten a new piece in about a year because of the pandemic. There's this drawing that my girlfriend did when we first started officially dating, and I always joked that I was going to get that tatted. When we would talk about it, I'd float the idea of either getting it on my neck, behind my ear, or on my arm. She, of course, would protest, but also kinda blush like I knew she would like it. So when I went, I kinda just said screw it and went through with it. She had no idea that I got it and came back home acting normally. She didn't even notice it for 15 minutes till I pretty much pointed it out. When she did, she was smiling big and red, but then after the initial shock, she went into silent mode. She pretty much didn't talk to me all night, and this morning, aside from a few mopes around the apartment. Her stance is that I disregarded her feelings and did it in spite of her. My stance is I've always wanted this, and it's not super noticeable. She very clearly likes it, just not the placement, but won't admit it and is being dramatic about the whole ordeal. So am I really being inconsiderate and the asshole, or is she just being dramatic and this will blow over? Edit, I'm feeling like I really ruffled some feathers about the artwork itself. 1, she gave me permission to use the artwork, and 2, she admitted she likes the tattoo, just not my neck. I feel like this is a clear, you're the asshole for this situation. I don't see how you thought that you wouldn't be when you've been telling us she's not going to like this one. She has explicitly told me she's not going to like this one, and now she's acting as if she doesn't like it. Which she doesn't like it, which is very apparent from her actions. How can you take all of this and think that you're not the asshole, OP? In what universe is there a saving grace for you in this situation? You're the asshole. Now in the comments, Maginatism says, I'm going with you're the asshole just because you keep saying she clearly likes something she's telling you she doesn't. That just feels super disrespectful to me, and given she's in silent mode and keeps saying she doesn't like it, it's weird that you keep saying she does, and sort of dismissive of her as a person. You can do what you want with your body, but I can never vote that a dude who keeps insisting his girlfriend feels X way instead of Y way that she's telling him isn't an asshole. So you're an asshole for that part. Also, you need to ask an artist for permission before using their work like that in my opinion. So yeah, she does have a say in how her own drawings are used. You're the asshole. Not for getting a tattoo, but for how you went about it. You knew she wouldn't like a neck tattoo, so you thought the best course of action would be to not even give her a heads up and just randomly get one anyway? It sounds like you never considered her feelings at all in any of this, and I'm really not buying the whole she would kinda blush like I knew she would like it, especially since she's already made her dislike clear. It's your body, your choice, but not even letting her know what you were doing makes you an asshole. Soft, you're the asshole. It's your body, and you're free to get tattoos anywhere you want, but you did get her drawing on a part of your body that she repeatedly told you she wasn't okay with. It also seems like you're trying to interpret her body language so you get your way, instead of actually listening to what she's saying. Regardless, you'll need to work on your communication with each other, or stuff like this is just gonna keep happening. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. Friendly reminder that I'm now posting daily on my second channel, Markee 2. If you want to laugh at memes with me, link is down in the description below. On phone, you just click that little arrow underneath the video. I also want to say thank you to all my channel members and Patreon subscribers. Your names are currently floating down the screen here, and I love to see all of you guys. Thank you for joining me on this journey. Thank you for supporting me. I really appreciate it. If you see yourself on screen, I want you to give yourself a big pat on the back for being amazing as always, and thank you for supporting me again. I do hope that you guys have a good day, night, sleep, whatever it is you're up to. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.